This is the story of a girl who is on the verge of chaos and is ready to end her life. However, she finds herself having the responsibility of saving the world. She then finds a purpose in life and decides that she is going to work on herself. Let's see how she goes about it. Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we'll be going through the 2021 movie Chompy and the Girls. It's time to recall. Let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we see a woman who seems to be sick of her life. She is preparing to commit suicide as we see her writing a death note. She then goes on to work on the noose she has hung from the ceiling. She stands on a chair and goes to tighten the noose on herself. When it is tightened enough, she kicks the chair away and there she goes, hanging from the ceiling. However, life does not seem to elude her just yet as the ceiling fan breaks and she lands on the ground. The scene changes and we see a middle-aged man who gets home after work. He talks to his wife about a colleague who resigned to become a swamp creature, but she ignores him. Jackson then calls her friend named Lotus as she tries to fix her ceiling fan. However, she just gets to his voicemail and then she attempts to call her mother, and that also goes in vain. Jackson then gives a call to her drug dealer and asks him to see her later that day in the park. Now we've started to see why she is depressed and was going to commit suicide. Having no one to talk to her, she sinks deeper and deeper into depression. She then goes on to text Sam, who is in the kitchen and being scolded by his wife for bringing sandwiches for dinner. He brings out his phone and sees that a girl named Jackson has texted him. Jackson right away tells him that she is his daughter. At first, he thinks she's just trying to scam him, but then she goes on to give him a little more detail, and Sam is simultaneously convinced and shocked. Jackson tells him that he and her mother broke up, and then her mother got to know that she was pregnant with Jackson. Jackson then asks him if they can have a meeting, and Sam right away lies to his wife that something's come up at work. When he gets to the park, he finds a depressed girl waiting for him in the park. Sam approaches, and there they introduce each other. Jackson tells him that her mother and he dated while they were in college. Her mother then dropped out of college after she got pregnant. She then adds that she does not have a good relationship with her mother. This is all too much for Sam as he tries to process the fact that he has a daughter. Jackson starts thinking that they have a good start, but Sam seems to have other plans as he goes on to tell her that he is not at all ready to have a family relationship yet. Sam tells her that he is going to contact her once he is able to digest this big news. When Sam is about to leave, Jackson notices a man in a suit jacket and a bright red tank top. The man approaches young girls, and as he comes closer, we see that his mouth is unnaturally gaping very wide. He has enormous lips, tongue, and teeth. As Jackson and Sam look on, the man swallows the girl whole. The two onlookers are frozen at the sight. After that, Chompy notices them and starts to make his way toward them. As they see that, they get out of there. Jackson cannot believe what she saw out there as she gets back to her place. She then turns on her computer and tries to search on the internet about Chompy. She, however, does not find anything of note, and then she hears a knock on the door. She opens the door, but no one is there. She closes the door, and as she does, the door opens and Chompy walks in. His mouth gets back to that weird form again, and he moves forward to eat Jackson as well. Jackson, however, manages to get out of her apartment and right away goes to Sam's house, where his wife catches the two talking. Jackson tells Sam that they need to leave as soon as possible, but Sam says that they do not need to do that, and his wife, on the other hand, thinks that Jackson is involved with Sam. Jackson then quickly tells her that she is actually his daughter, and, in a shock, Sam's wife removes the curtain and sees Chompy making his way to their house. Jackson then gets sick of those two not listening to her and grabs a kitchen knife. She threatens both husband and wife. Sam finally agrees to go with his daughter and leaves his wife behind. As they are in the car, Jackson tells Sam that they are going to see her friend named Lotus, who happens to have knowledge about such unusual creatures. Sam, on the other hand, keeps receiving messages from his wife, who demands to know where he is and what he is up to. Sam finally sends her the location, and she decides to follow them. On the other hand, they arrive at Lotus's place, and as they get out of the car and go inside, they see a party going on. They see that everyone out there is just high, and Jackson tries to talk to her friend about what she saw and the creature that has been following them, but Lotus is too hammered to focus on anything as he is just out of it. They finally manage to get him in their car after he gets into a fight, and then he brings out his book and starts talking about the creatures from different universes. Sam then sees the raincoat girl walking by the side of the road. It's the same girl Chompy ate. They approach the girl, and she tells them that she is lost. Jackson is suspicious of the girl, and as she goes on to ask many questions, Chompy appears from the darkness. They get in the car with the Raincoat Girl and drive away, but the weird thing is that the little girl does not remember Chompy at all. Sam's wife, on the other hand, arrives at the location of the party where the police are taking people away. The group in the meantime goes to Lotus's place. The Raincoat Girl does not want to get out of the car, but Sam makes sure that she does. Jackson then asks Lotus to perform a magic circle in order to protect them from that monster out there, but Lotus ends up going to sleep. Jackson then finds a book on creatures from the alternate worlds and tries to look for something of note. When Jackson comes out of the room, she finds Sam lying unconscious on the floor. The Raincoat Girl, on the other hand, is leaning on Sam, and as she sees Jackson, she runs away. Sam wakes up and tells Jackson that he felt like his face was being eaten. Jackson picks up the book again and finally finds the monster that swallows people. They then notice that Sam's left foot does not look the same, as it looks like a child's foot. Sam freaks out, and in order to distract him, Jackson goes on to tell him a story about joining the army and getting kicked out a week later. Sam then tells her that he has called his wife to come and pick him up. The two then get into an argument, and Jackson says that he trusts the Raincoat Girl more than he trusts Jackson. Sam now decides that he is going to confront the monster. He starts to believe that the Raincoat Girl is actually the one who is evil, and that Chompy just wants to put an end to her. They now decide that they are going to work together to catch the Raincoat Girl. Chompy appears and opens his mouth. He indicates that Sam and Jackson should get into his mouth. Jackson goes like, okay, let's try that out, as she dives into his mouth. But Sam gives it some thought before he dives in too, and now they are inside his mouth. Chompy then goes on to tell them that he has been ordered to catch the shadow parasite. The girl they saw was not Raincoat Girl. She has actually been consuming humans and replicating herself with their bodies. He explains that she fed on Sam too, and that is why his foot looks like the girl's foot. Chompy explains that if he does not find and put an end to the shadow parasite, Sam's whole body is going to turn into the body of the Raincoat clone. Now they understand why Chompy swallowed that Raincoat Girl, and the girl which they found on the side of the door was also nothing but another clone. Sam is worried about getting transformed into a little girl, but they both now can relax and just sit inside Chompy while he hunts the shadow parasite. Well, that's not the case, as they just get out of his mouth and send him away, wishing him good luck. As Chompy gets out of the garage, he gets run over by Sam's wife. As they see Chompy out cold on the floor, they get the feeling that they are screwed because Chompy is the only one who can put an end to the Raincoat Girl drama. Jackson gets pissed off at Sam for calling his stupid wife to pick him up. After taking out their frustration on each other, they all go out to a diner, and Jackson tells Sam that he is nothing but a coward. Sam accepts that he should have reacted in a better way back in the park and goes on to add that he wished he had a good relationship with his daughter. Sam then pitches the idea that he should talk to the Raincoat Girl and try to make her realize that she is doing the wrong thing. Sam then expresses that he thinks there are multiple Raincoat Girl clones out there. Jackson, however, thinks that this is a stupid idea. The scene changes, and the Raincoat Girl, along with the army of her clones, approaches a woman and tells her that she needs her help. Jackson, on the other hand, finally agrees to the plan of talking to the Raincoat Girl. As they drive on, Jackson goes on to share her shitty mental condition with her father and tells him that she wishes it was better. Her father asks her to join the Peace Corps, as that might help her get better. As Sam's foot tingles, they locate 3 Raincoat Girl clones in one place. All of them run away, but Jackson gets her hands on one of them and puts her in the trunk of the car. A man, however, sees her act and thinks that Jackson is a kidnapper and goes on to call the police on the group. Jackson, however, tackles him to the ground, and he runs out of there being scared to death. Lotus, on the other hand, wakes up and finds Chompy's body in his house. In the car, Sam's wife asks him if he wants a divorce, and Sam admits that he has thought about it because they never work as a couple. His wife blames him for not being a good husband because he never talks to her. They get to Jackson's apartment and tie up the Raincoat Girl clone. Lotus contacts Jackson, and she asks him to come to her place with Chompy's body. Outside Jackson's house, so many clones start surrounding her apartment. Jackson suggests that they should torture the Raincoat Girl clone to the extent that it goes insane, and in that case, all the other clones will go insane as well. But Sam does not agree, saying that he does not think these creatures are vindictive. The group then blocks all the entrances of the house as the Raincoat Girls try to get into the apartment. Lotus arrives with Chompy's body, and Jackson says they are going to get all the Raincoat Girls to get into Chompy's mouth, and that will cause the eradication of the Raincoat Girl. When Sam goes into the room, he sees his wife being attacked by the clones and manages to fight them off. Lotus, on the other hand, arrives with Chompy's dead body. Sam, on the other hand, cuddles with his wife, where they have a nice moment together after a long time as they feel that love between them again. His wife also gets infected by the little girls, and her hand also turns into a little girl's hand. In the meantime, Jackson jumps into Chompy's mouth and finds the raincoat girl he had swallowed in the park. She goes to the girl and tells her not to destroy the world. The little girl, however, tells her that she never wanted to hurt anyone, but the parasite inside her is making her clone everyone she comes across. She even tells her that she cannot remove the parasite because it's a part of her now. She then asks Jackson to get out of there before she loses control and attacks her too. Jackson, however, steps up to make the sacrifice as she tells her to let go of the parasite and give it to her because she wants the innocent little girl to be free. The raincoat girl agrees and gives her the parasite, and Jackson tries her best to fight it off. On the other hand, all the clones take Jackson's form, and she makes all of them jump into Chompy's mouth so that they can go back to being their real selves. Sam also dives in and helps his daughter fight the parasite. As they get rid of it and try to get out, the portal to the other universe gets closed. They then see a rope thrown in by Lotus and his wife. They manage to pull them both out of Chompy's mouth and back into the real world. Sam decides that he is now going to be living with his daughter as she needs him. All four of them then go to have a celebratory dinner together. This is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.